Hello, health enthusiasts, and welcome to Rev Up Health, your go-to podcast for all things wellness. I'm Dr. Mark Heckler.
And I'm Tandi Heckler. Together, we're here to fuel your health journey with the best of functional medicine and holistic well-being.
Each episode will dive deep into topics that matter to your health, bringing you the latest insights, research, and inspiring stories.
So whether you're on a quest for vibrant health or just looking for daily health tips, we've got you covered.
So let's embark on this journey together and transform the way you live. So Tandi, what's on our wellness radar for today? Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rev Up Health. So today we're going to talk about fatigue. Who doesn't get fatigued? Why are we so tired? So, daily life, wonder why I get up and my goodness, I've got to have all this caffeine to get going, or I feel like I'm just so fatigued during the day, middays, and you get home and you're just beat. So, what can we do? What are things that are causing this type of stuff? So I'm Dr. Mark.
And I'm Tandi.
And we're going to get this started with the first thing on the list. I would think that is a big contributing factor is lack of sleep. Tandi, is this something you think that the majority of the people out there have trouble with, whether poor quality of sleep or just not enough of it?
Yes, absolutely. I think both of those things are of a problem. I think people have a hard time getting enough sleep. I think people are often under the misconception that you really don't need that much sleep, when studies tell us that 7 to 8 hours of sleep is really what you need. I think you are one of those people who used to not get much sleep.
That's right. I used to basically power all day, and then if I could take a little nap in the evening, then I could wake back up again and just work, and then have to physically make myself go to sleep because I would be all wound up and ready to go. Well, the next day I would wake up, and of course you'd be fatigued and trying to get going for the day, and it's tough to do. But yeah, I would be one of those that wouldn't think that I would need a lot of sleep, and then just kind of power through the days and things would do okay. But my activity level was quite high, and so I found out that, through a lot of research and information in our process of studying, that, sleep is when we repair. That's when we recharge our batteries. And if you don't get good sleep, you don't recharge your batteries. So you're going to be fatigued. And it's better to be functioning on all cylinders than to just have a few cylinders. And that's kind of what happens. We all kind of get into that grind of daily life. And at this point, getting sleep is going to be something that's so much more helpful to help us heal and repair. So
yeah, I think the other part of that is, especially in our practice of our 9 to 5 practice of medicine, we see a lot of folks with sleep apnea. And so we see people who are getting sleep, but they're not getting good quality of sleep. And that is also a huge thing. And not only sleep apnea, there are other things that decrease your quality of sleep. Drinking alcohol in the evening before bed will disrupt your sleep. Eating too close to bed will disrupt your sleep. And so there's a multitude of things that you can do to get better sleep and better quality sleep. But certainly there are other things that are causing us fatigue. It's not just sleep.
Right. Yeah. At this point, obviously, that stress is also a big component of that sleep situation. So folks that have a high level of stress during the day, during your job, you carry that home, and then what are you doing? You're thinking about it all at night, while you're in bed, or you have trouble with turning off your brain so that you can actually get some sleep. And there's a lot of things you can do to kind of promote that and get yourself ready to sleep at nighttime. So, but stress is a huge component, and it's been shown to affect more than just your quality of sleep. And stress affects everything from your GI tract to your mental thinking to your hormone imbalances. It's a multitude of things that stress affects. But screens is another thing that's certainly a big problem these days with, internet. I mean, I grew up without internet a long time ago, so I didn't have that problem like the kids do these days. But, obviously adults, we're having that same problem. But screens with internet and having having television in the bedrooms. These things is just you just can't do that because that just does not shut the brain off.
Yeah, I think another contributing factor is a sedentary lifestyle. I have noticed that my sleep quality and my ability to get more sleep is always better when I have been active. I mean, everybody knows when you get out there and you work your body and move and you're doing things, like you're more tired at the end of the day.
Right. Yeah. Any type of activity. I mean, it's best to try to move that activity earlier in the day, so that you can kind of prepare yourself for the day and kind of wakes you up and gets your hormones moving, gets the blood pumping. But then in the evening, then you're ready for bed. Exercising in the evening, which I do often, especially in the winter because it's so cold and dark first thing in the morning. But exercising later in the day or in the evening is just makes it real difficult to actually get ready and get prepared for sleep.
Yeah, I think another thing that has us a little bit off kilter as far as getting ready for sleep is that when you work long hours, obviously in healthcare, there's a lot of folks who work 12-hour shifts. So if you think about working a 12-hour shift and then coming home and winding down and all the things, I mean, we are working, our work life is often something that is contributing to our ability to enough sleep and have enough time to do the things you need to do at the end of the day, because ultimately you still got to do all the things.
Right. And so with the other components of things that affect our sleep and fatigue, obviously you touched on alcohol, but medications, it's not just alcohol these days with marijuana and other types of chemical influences. Those things affect our quality of sleep and just preparing ourselves to sleep. I mean, you may feel tired, which after you get through having a glass of wine or two in the evening, but you may go to sleep quick, but your sleep is going to be so fragmented and sporadic in the middle of the night that you just don't get that good quality REM sleep that you need. A couple hours of that to really recharge and feel fresh the next day.
So I do think we are talking a lot about sleep because that does contribute to fatigue. But fatigue in general is not just sleep and being tired and ready to go to bed. Fatigue is also just the body feeling tired and weak. So there are also things, parts of heart disease, AFib. People who have AFib are often very tired. They don't feel like they have a lot of stamina. So that's another thing that can be fatiguing. Sugar, we all know what that feels like when you've had a lot of sugar and then you have the crash after the sugar, and that causes fatigue and sleepiness.
Right. And it's, sugar and equilibrates to carbohydrate load too. So, it's not just eating sugar, it's eating all the breads and pastas that taste so good that also cause the spikes and crashes, what leads to fatigue for us. So, you ever wonder why, obviously at Thanksgiving and, during the midday after you've had lunch about 3:00 in the afternoon, it's like, oh my goodness, am I ever going to be able to get done with work today? And, you got to have that extra cup of coffee to kind of get you through. So those crashes with our blood sugar does make a difference on our fatigue throughout the certain times of the day also, obviously. But, even the ultra-processed foods that we eat, these things are also a contributor to generalized fatigue in our system, whether it be hormonal disruptions that it causes or, obviously there's disruptions in our body chemistries that occur, which lead to the generalized fatigue and lack of, deficiencies, basically deficiencies in our intake of nutrients and minerals.
So what do we do? What can we do? And there are a lot of things that we can do. We've kind of spoken about some of those things randomly throughout as we're describing the reasons why we are fatigued, but we'll start by a simple improving your circadian rhythm and a new kind of up and coming topic around sleep hygiene. This is something that I hadn't heard of until recently. I believe Dr. Matt Walker may be the one who kind of started this. I'm not sure. He has a really great book on sleep. And I feel like since that book, I've heard a lot more about sleep hygiene. You can tell us a little bit more about that.
But yeah, the circadian rhythm is certainly a contributing part to with our benefiting our sleep, because recent studies have actually shown that if you're able to watch the sunrise and watch the sunset, those color variations that we see, that we experience during the sunrise and sunset, have a way to reset our circadian rhythm, which is going to prepare us for a good night's sleep.
Right. So your sleep hygiene actually kind of starts first thing in the morning, making sure that you're getting access to daylight in the morning so that you've got that good start to the day.
Yeah. And then obviously with our work life, it's not always easy to watch a sunrise or watch a sunset, but obviously anything you can do will help. Getting direct exposure during the day, maybe over a lunch hour, or sitting near windows, getting yourself in a situation where you can present light to your eyes will help you a lot. One thing that I have really found out that helps me with fatigue and sleep in general is to have a good morning exercise routine, even if it's 5 minutes of doing push-ups and set-ups and curls. Yes, it would be better to do something rather than nothing. Now, if I could spend a good hour getting a good run in during the morning, that makes me feel really good throughout the day. But it gets your endorphins going. You get the dopamine rush from these things, and that really just sets the mood for the day and improves your daily mood in general.
So the other thing would be caffeine. And this is one that I think, Mark, you struggled with a little bit also. I used to always drink coffee all day long, every day. And I slowly got out of that. And I think that is something now. Mark has switched over to decaf when he drinks coffee in the afternoon. But, getting that caffeine earlier in the day and then kind of for the afternoon, don't drink caffeine if you can. That is helping your body to prepare for, what's to come in the evening.
Yeah, you can get, for myself, I just like the flavor of coffee. And, I won't pass up a good ice shake and espresso either if somebody offers that to me. But I like to have, at least half caffeinated. I don't want the full espresso stuff. So I am not dependent upon caffeine to get me going throughout the day. And, caffeine is going to, most days, caffeine can be somewhat of a disruptor also for folks from an endocrine standpoint. That's certainly something that affects a lot of folks because they feel like they have to have it all day. Well, then you have caffeine all day. And what happens at night? Okay. And then you start having troubles and difficulties with kind of getting your sleep regulated too. So it's that fatigue. It's just a cycle that people get into. And one thing that, Tandi, I'll let you talk about this, but meditation has been something that it's hard for me to do because it's hard for me to sit still and just be present and be in my thoughts. That is something that you have a lot of more experience than I on that. And I'm finding out that with our stressful life these days that, it's good to just take a few minutes, even if it's doing some box breathing or whatever.
Yes, definitely. And I think one thing to remember, and this is, you just even said, like, I'm not very good at this because I can't sit still and I can't whatever. Well, the key to meditation is that it's a practice. And in order to get better at it, you have to practice. But it is something that added into your day can really just give you a little reset. So instead of kind of, taking a nap, so to speak, just do some meditation. Mindfulness. I like to listen to meditations, like guided meditations, quite frequently, just because, like everyone, I have a hard time sometimes sitting there and letting my thoughts kind of take over and getting sidetracked. But yes, meditation is a great tool to help with sleep.
Yeah, and meditation is something that, it's if you haven't done it, it's difficult to get into that situation. But get into a place, a location, a private, quiet place that you can just sit still. Just sit still. That's all you got to do. Just stop moving. And once you start to think about that and sit still and listen, you can clear your mind, and that's going to help reset a lot of stuff too. But the benefits of meditation are certainly out there in the studies for folks.
So now we've kind of gone through, what you're doing during the day to be ready at night. But I think there are definitely things that you need to focus on doing when you're at home and getting ready for bed, kind of making that transition to where your body knows, okay, like we're gearing up for sleep now. Like this is where we get to wind down. So whether it's turning down the lights in the house, turning off screens, not eating for 2 to 4 hours before bed, you might take a hot bath. It's been shown that heating up your body before bed, and then as your body begins to cool down, that's helpful for getting you to fall asleep. Making sure that the bedroom is cool, blocking light if you can. I know there are some people who get really after this, and when they travel, they take tape and put tape over lights in the bedroom, in the hotel rooms and things like that. But, just giving yourself this time to transition from being awake and then knowing, okay, sleep is upon us. So other than lifestyle, what are some other things that you can do that can help you to fall asleep faster, get better quality sleep?
Right. Yeah. I mean, you're looking at other options. Obviously, people that have trouble with, alcohol in the evening, that's something you just got to get away from that. And any other influences, also chemical or otherwise. But a lot of folks have to take sleep aids. And they've been proven not to be very successful and downright near addicting, if you will, to an extent. But there are some things we can do that kind of more of a natural approach, if you will, for folks that do have hormone imbalance. And frequently we do have hormonal imbalances. But for women, especially postmenopausal women, progesterone in the evening by mouth has been shown to be a great source of ability to promote sleep and kind of get a person prepared for sleep. But it's also good for your system. Even if you don't have a uterus, it's still good to have progesterone.
Yes, and that is not just postmenopausal. That is perimenopausal. Women can also benefit from that as well. Pre and peri, yeah.
Yeah, and then also there's melatonin. Melatonin, I've tried it too before, and melatonin works very well. And it's not something that's going to make you sleepy the following day. And it can be variable. There's different doses for folks to improve or promote that onset of sleepiness.
Yeah, I think one thing that I hear most often is that people say, "Oh, I tried melatonin, it doesn't work for me." And the truth is, everything is unique and specific to every body. And that's why it's so important that you find a healthcare practitioner to kind of help you through these things. But with melatonin is part of our normal circadian rhythm. And you can basically work past it. When you were a kid and I don't know, you don't even have to be a kid. If you're ever really tired and then you power through and then all of a sudden you're not tired anymore, and then you're not going to sleep because you've missed that opportunity. Melatonin works in that way. So once you take your melatonin, you need to do that at a time when you know that you're going to be getting ready to go to sleep, because you need to be falling asleep when that's peaking. So that's why a lot of times people say, it doesn't work for me, but you do need to make sure that you're giving it all its chances to do what it's supposed to do.
Right. Yeah. Get yourself in a dark environment, quiet environment. Let's reduce the stimulation and take your melatonin and go to bed. So you know that you're going to be in a good state to fall asleep and get some rest. But melatonin not only is good for sleep, but is also an excellent benefiter for the rest of our body, including hormone balance, which people don't realize. So it's good to help balance your thyroid and your other sex hormones, but also it's good for the immune system. It's a great immune booster for our system to have that. Moving on, there's another thing that we can do is people heard about is magnesium. So, magnesium gluconate is a great sleep aid for people in the evening.
There's several different types of magnesium, and they all kind of help with different things. I think it's magnesium glycinate that is actually the one that they use most often to really help with sleep. But magnesium in general is great to, yes, we have confirmed magnesium glycinate. There's teas that you can take or, supplements. I also have magnesium spray that I use on my feet sometimes for sleep. So there's lots of different ways to kind of let that magnesium help you out.
Yeah, the magnesium glycinate will actually help a lot with overall anxiousness for folks. So helps to alleviate that even for people that have that anxiety issue. But there's even magnesium salts that you can take baths in that will help also.
Combine your hot bath with a little magnesium salt or magnesium flakes.
That's good. So as you can see, there are multiple things that we can do to help reduce stress and reduce the anxieties of the day and to help improve our decreasing our levels of fatigue. So if we can do just one or two of these things to help reduce our generalized fatigue during the day, it's going to snowball itself. So, after you start resetting the brain to getting used to reducing these other influences, outside influences, then it's going to start to show the benefits in your generalized health also.
That is absolutely right. I think we've actually also come up with several things that might be other good ideas for podcasts. So if you heard a little snippet of anything today that you're like, I want to learn more about that, give us a note in the show notes or give us a note and we'll do that. You can find us at revelationhealthandwellbeing.com and on social media at Revelation Health and Wellbeing. And we'd love to hear your comments, know what it is that you are interested in learning about, and are so glad that you joined us today and look forward to talking again soon.
Have a great day, and thank you for joining us on Rev Up Health.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Rev Up Health. We hope you're leaving with some valuable insights to supercharge your health journey.
Don't forget to follow or subscribe to Rev Up Health wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a rating and review.
Have a topic you want us to explore? Reach out to us on social media channels. We love hearing from our wellness community.
Until next time, keep thriving, and remember, your journey to health is a journey to a better you.
Stay well, and we'll connect with you again soon. This is Tandi.
And this is Dr. Mark, signing off from Rev Up Health. Take care.
The information provided in this podcast is for educational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice. The content is designed to support, not replace, the relationship that exists between a patient and their healthcare provider. Always consult with a qualified healthcare professional before making any changes to your healthcare regimen, including diet, exercise, or treatment plans. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Revelation Health and Wellbeing.